What is up, guys? We are back with episode 10. I forgot how it went.
It's
You
yeah.
do it. You're right.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
All
was yeah. What's up, guys? We are back. Patent pending episode 10 today. A podcast for creatives,
By creatives.
and it's just Mike and I today.
Yeah. I figured we figured that we would, do a little catch-up episode 10. Big number 10.
We're in double digits.
Woo! Yeah. So just a little catch-up. Sean did a little vacation. We both had a couple things change up in our lives. So we figured we'd just do a chill episode. Oh, and then, at the end of the episode, we also have a What's in Our Bag video.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll go through each camera bag of what Mike has on him to the day-to-day and what he uses, and then we'll go through my bag on what I use.
Yeah, so what's up, dude?
What's going on?
You just got back from a pretty long trek around across the pond, as they say.
Yeah, across the pond. Yeah, so I did Yvonne and I did 3 weeks in Europe, in London, but then in those 3 weeks we did a couple days in Barcelona, Spain, and 3 days in Paris, France. So that was nice.
Oh yeah.
3 weeks is too long though, because the last little bit we had done everything there was to do in London, so we were just like, all right, we've seen everything, done everything. We're just spending money now. So yeah, could have done without like those last 4 days, to be honest. But we did some cool things.
What was the most memorable?
There was a lot, to be honest. We in Paris, we went and saw Crazy Horse.
What's that?
It's the original Crazy
strip
Horse
club?
Yeah. Well, no, they're just dancers.
Mm.
They're topless dancers.
So strippers. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. They're go-go dancers without tops.
Yeah. But it was
Right.
awesome. It was a really cool show. It was funny because it wasn't, if you haven't seen Crazy Horse, it's actually really awesome to see from our point of view creatively.
Okay.
Because each little segment, they'll have like different lighting and they'll have like a whole different, how am I trying to get my thoughts out? They'll have each section is completely different. So
Okay.
like, let's say for one where they come out and it's all, 8 girls or whatever it is, they're dancing, they're doing like a group dance and they're like in cowboy hats.
Okay.
Then the next one, it's like just one girl and it's like lit with moody red lights and it's like a silhouette.
It's like different scenes.
And it's just her on a chair and it's
Nice.
like, it's really cool. So that was awesome to see. Then we did in Barcelona, we did a tapas tour through Airbnb experience, which we went to like 4 different little tapas places, and that was cool because
Just food and that type of thing.
but then what was cool about it was there was like a group of like 8 of us in total.
Okay.
So you got to kind of like meet other people. Oh, where are you from?
Oh, sick. So
Like,
you get to mingle.
Yeah,
That type of thing.
mingle. Like, what are you here for on vacation? So that was cool. Like a little social to like get you out of your comfort zone and talk with people you have no clue who they are.
Did
know what I mean?
you end up doing anything with those people like outside of that event?
No, we didn't. Some of them were gonna go to like a club, but which sounded kind of cool at first, like do a club in Barcelona. But Yvonne and I were just like, nah, let's head back to the room. So I recommend things like that if you are traveling. Definitely do like Airbnb experiences because you also
That is pretty cool. I never even thought that. I didn't even knew that was.
I
a
didn't
thing.
know about it either until Yvonne was like, hey, I booked us a tapas like crawl.
I think that's like cool. I mean, I could see myself doing that internationally, maybe not locally,
Yeah,
but like in the States.
yeah.
Nice. What else? Did you see the Eiffel Tower? You
Saw the Eiffel Tower. Well, we've been to Paris before. We went in 2018, but this time we actually got to like. I feel like this time we got to enjoy it because the first time we went, it was like very photo heavy. Like she was doing her influencing thing then, and so it was like very like wake up at 4 a.m. and get there when there's no one there and crazy pose and like this whole
Production.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This time I got to enjoy it as like normal folk.
Okay, let's go back and touch on this. What camera did you end up bringing? I remember that was a topic we talked to Ashley
I
about.
brought my 135 millimeter, which I'll show later in the bag,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple rolls of film, and that's it.
Nice. Did you feel happy with that? Did you?
Oh, more than like,
Yeah.
and then when I didn't bring my camera with me or didn't feel like whipping it out, I just did like little clips on my phone, like
Yeah.
as a normal person, just like savor the moment to like, you know, replay.
sure.
But I didn't have like work brain or photo brain, and I'm
That's
glad
good.
because numerous times through the trip, Yvonne and I had even said to each other, we're like, thank God, like imagine if you brought your whole camera bag. I'm like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even, it would have sat in the room.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need it. What am I getting? Like, I'm not on that type of travel where it's like, I don't want to say this the wrong way, but it's like, I'm not traveling in that sense where it's like photographing iconic things. Like,
Yeah.
it's just cities, you know?
Well, for sure. But the main reason why you're going is to like nurture your relationship with your wife and
Yeah.
like spend time. So like that, you know, could potentially hinder it.
Oh, it would.
Yeah. Like I've had that in the past too.
Yeah. So that was nice to
Where I'm
just
being
shut off.
annoying. Yeah.
Yeah. Just shut off work. Like, I'm just a normal person.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm going to Lake Tahoe next
2 weeks, right?
2 weeks. So when this airs, I'll be in Lake Tahoe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm currently in Lake Tahoe. I'm having the time of my life. But I'm shooting a wedding. I'll be there for 8 days. And on the 7th day, I'll be shooting a friend of mine's wedding.
Okay.
So
have a
I
few days of
will
chill.
have all my gear with me.
But beforehand,
yeah.
So here's the thing. You're only going to bust out the camera for the work part, right? You're going to be normal mic.
Nah. See, I bought a new slider for time lapses and okay. I'm thinking I probably won't take it too far from the cabin, but if I could set up a time lapse while we're like hanging out in the cabin, then so be it. But yeah, so I'm going to try to just, you know, enjoy the time with my girlfriend, but I did buy a film camera so I could just kind of take that with us.
Yeah.
And take some fun photos of us on our trip with our dog.
There you go. Oh, you're taking the pup too?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we took her last year. We just went to the vet and got her some anxiety medication.
Are you guys driving up there or flying?
Yeah, we're driving. Yeah. We
Cool.
drove last year and our dog stood in the backseat for like 8 hours. She was so nervous. I felt so bad. We gave her so much CBD and it did absolutely nothing.
It didn't do shit. Yeah, I think we used to give Bean CBD at first because he had really bad anxiety when we got him. And yeah, it like didn't really work.
Yeah, the vet's like, dude, your breed is too hyper. Like, there's no way it's going to work. He's like, this might not even work that I'm giving you. I'm like, shit.
Oh, shit.
All right. Yeah, so we're doing that. You weren't shooting too much because you're on vacation, but you just shot something pretty cool yesterday, right?
Yeah, so yesterday I flew out to San Diego to photograph UFC MMA fighter Dominic Cruz. He's fighting in 2 weeks. So by the time this airs, it'll obviously already happen. But yeah.
He's fighting Cheeto Vera.
Cheeto Vera.
Yeah.
Should be a good fight. So that was cool. Flying out there for that. Waking up early, catch a quick 45-minute flight to San Diego, shoot what I need to do, hop on a plane, come back. I was home in time for dinner.
I've never been to San Diego. I heard it is awesome though. And
The weather
very
was really
beautiful.
nice.
Yeah. What was it?
It's probably like 68, 70,
Oh,
breezy because it's right there on the
perfect.
beach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah, San Diego's has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
Well, because I grew up in Corona, which is like an hour and a half north of that.
Okay.
So we had always like not had beef, but we'd always like given San Diego shit.
Okay.
Like San Diegans are kind of like a certain type of people, but
I get what you're saying.
that's old me.
Now you just talk shit about California.
Nah, I
as
just
a
talk
whole
shit
now.
about yeah.
Not just
California as a
San
whole
Diego.
now, as a
'Cause you're,
Nevadan.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
That's
cool. And yeah. What about you? What have you been working on? You've been shooting a lot over at Win.
Yeah. Which is pretty cool. Shooting over there, you know, same typical event, nightlife stuff. Good people over there. Super grateful to be doing that. What else have I been working on? Did like a series of food shoots for Click Group here in town.
Oh, okay.
So that was pretty cool. Did like 6 of their venues, food and beverage shoots. Got to meet some new people on their team, which is really cool. I like working with those people over there. What else? Oh, I've been shooting basketball. That's probably been the more something that's been tickling my fancy more.
The Aces or
Yeah, the Aces. I got lucky. Our buddy Jeff. Fuck. Always recommending me
Mr.
this
Jeff
stuff.
Batari, you
Dude,
say?
Yeah, I owe him so much.
Shout out to Jeff
I'm
Batari.
gonna send him an edible arrangement.
Oh, that's cute.
No, I'm just kidding. That's super lame.
Shout out to
I'm gonna
Jeff
send him I'm gonna
Patari.
send him something. But yeah. So yeah, he recommended me. I've been shooting that. I've done 2 so far. I have another one in a couple weeks, and it's so much fun. It's so awesome.
You did Summer League right when I left, right?
Yeah. So I was helping out with Summer League, but that was more like Summer League events. Like I was doing the RTP program,
Okay.
which is like the rookie transitional program, where they teach like all these new kids, like they're literally like 18-year-olds, like teaching them like, hey, like this is what you should do with your money. So they're more like events. I wasn't shooting the actual Summer League games.
Gotcha.
But still just as happy to be there,
Yeah.
to be even, working for the NBA, which is so cool. But the basketball games themselves is so much fun to shoot. It's like super high pace, and
It's kind of stressful sitting there on the court side, right? Because you're like, there's gonna be a ball that hits me.
yeah. So what I learned from Al when he was teaching me how to shoot boxing, he told me to shoot with both eyes open. So your left eye, I shoot with my right eye, so my left eye is always open, so you can see your peripheral vision.
Yep.
Fun fact, yeah, the first time I shot boxing, I actually got sprayed with blood all over my face.
Nice.
So now I kind of like when I shoot basketball, the few times that I have, I have the peripherals, and I actually did catch a ball one time, like just deflected it away from me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a little stressful, and I couldn't even imagine shooting men's basketball because the women, I mean, there's some big women, but like having like a man professional athlete,
Yeah.
I'd much rather have, someone a little lighter land on me if someone had to land on me,
When I shoot MMA or in the MMA gyms, I have to shoot with both eyes open too, because I'll usually not shoot from like outside. I'll literally be like in a corner somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, even yesterday, having to keep one eye open because they'll be obviously sparring, and they're not. Some of them are pretty aware that you know what I mean. You're kind of crouched in a corner.
But also they're training, so
they're also practicing, right? So
exactly.
If one guy has forward momentum,
yeah,
he's not going to stop. Like, oh, just kidding. There's a photographer in the corner. You're probably going to get crushed.
Take out your knees.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely have to shoot with one eye open to make sure, because I'm in their realm. You know what I mean? Same thing with basketball.
Yeah,
if the ball goes,
for sure. Oh yeah, they're diving.
I saw the lens break when I shot. What was it? It was for shooting for Vegas Social, and it was, I'm drawing a blank. It wasn't Summer League. It was, what was the big one?
Oh, that was the West Pac-12.
Yes.
Yeah.
So shooting Pac-12 before the game start, they're just doing warm-ups, and I'm looking at all the the Getty guys or whatever with thousands of dollars of equipment just sitting on the floor, and my mental note goes off in my brain, and I'm like, probably not a good place to put your equipment.
Yeah.
Because there was not even anyone around.
Okay.
Sure enough, ball takes one bounce, takes a second bounce, and then everyone standing there sees it, and then boom, lands on dude's camera and cracks his lens from the mount.
Oh my god.
So, yeah. So he didn't get to shoot with that body that game, but
damn.
I didn't feel too bad though.
Yeah, that's definitely a concern of mine.
Yeah, but I didn't feel too bad because literally, like I said, the cameras were laying there.
So was it in the middle of a game?
No,
or
was like it says before that like 10-minute intermission where they're warming up, and the cameras are, like I said, are just laying there. I don't know if it was like his way of like holding his
Marking a
spot, but
yeah.
still, it's like he wasn't even anywhere around it to at least try to deflect it. They're just laying on the court, so it's like, what do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah, I don't know what the etiquette is, so I can't really.
Well,
say
the
anything.
etiquette is like once you claim your spot, put something to claim your spot
for sure. And I
But-
have a chair, like a chair that has like a back that I could sit in. It's just
Yeah.
like a floor seat, so I put that there. But I don't leave my camera. Like,
no,
'cause-
most leave like
yeah.
cards. I didn't have anything on me, so I think I left like something. I think I left like a microfiber or
I'll just
something.
take off a shoe and put it there.
Yeah, it's at least something to say, hey, claim it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend using your camera gear as a spotter.
Yeah, that's a good rec. Or maybe disconnect your lens from your body and set them there, so if it bounces, it doesn't break up mount.
Yeah.
Speaking of mounts, you were rocking some new camera equipment lately.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
After like 10 plus years with Nikon, I switched over to Canon. I got it right before I left for Europe. Had a couple shoots with it, and then been back now for a couple weeks and had a few more shoots, and I love it. It's great. Yeah. Glad I switched.
Yeah.
It's just so much more easier for me, like the little details that are different of.
So you were you coming from a DSLR Nikon camera,
to
and then also a
mirrorless,
mirrorless Sony for video. So now you're just using a mirrorless. So how's that transition from going to DSLR to mirrorless?
It's still a little bit weird in the, like, I still will use the mechanical shutter because if I'm using electronic shutter and you don't hear anything, it's like a weird thing to me. Like, I feel like I'm not taking the photo. So those little things of like, I'm so used to the shutter actually closing and I know that I'm shooting. So that's a little bit of an adjustment. But everything else is really at like the workflow with the being able to see your settings in real time in the viewfinder.
Yeah, the exposure simulation, I think it's called. Yeah,
that's nice. And then also the fact that the R3 and also the R6, it looks like, has the fully flippable LCD screen.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I was a little like hesitant about it because I was afraid like I'll break it somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I used to shoot with the Nikon D850, it had just the articulating screen that just did this.
Yeah.
But didn't swing out. But now that I have a camera that swings out with the screen, I definitely love it now.
Yeah, I mean, it also with what I came from with the Nikon is the only way you can use the LCD screen is when you flip to live view, and there's a huge lag in shooting it and then showing you on that screen.
Oh, okay.
But then same thing with now the R3 mirrorless, that is in real time. So I can actually use that screen.
It's lightning fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had it for like 6 months now. I couldn't imagine using anything else.
You've only had it for 6 months?
Yeah, I got it like the second or third week of January. 7 months maybe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I got it then, but I couldn't imagine using anything else. I'd lose my mind.
Yeah. But I'm all caught up now. I've bought all the lenses that I had for the Nikon. So I'm back to that, and then now moving forward, I'll probably grab a couple extra ones. Like I'll maybe grab a 50 again, little nifty 50, and then probably that 8 to 15 for the wider stuff. Yeah,
there's that's the one cool thing that I've been doing with the primes, because Canon hasn't come out with any. I think they have the 85 and then the 50 for the RF primes. But dude, the 85 is like $3,100
oh no,
it's a lot, or maybe it's like 28, but whatever, it's a lot.
Yeah,
and the 50 is like $2,400. So the cool thing is like all the EF glass is going on sale right now for the because everyone's upgrading to the RF glass.
Yeah,
so everything's so cheap right now. Like I picked up that fisheye lens for super cheap.
That 8 to 15.
Yeah, I think it's great. And then coming from the Sigma fisheye that I used to have, it's light years better.
What was the Sigma one you had?
Sigma 15-2.8.
Gotcha.
Fisheye, which was good because it was a 2.8, so you got an extra stop of light.
Yeah.
But
because isn't that 8 to 15 f4, right?
Yeah, that's the only bummer, but it's like so much sharper. But with shooting with the R3, you can just, I can shoot comfortably at like 10K ISO.
Crank that ISO, soldier boy.
Yeah, and I just, use a little noise reduction just here and there. But we got a visitor in your backyard.
Yeah, some landscapers.
Yeah.
So hopefully the more audio won't pick up. You had mentioned on episode 2 about cold calling some potential new clients or reaching out to some new endeavors. Have you done that?
Nope.
Okay.
So like I said then, and I'll say it again now, I am very grateful. I keep getting quite a bit of work from just word of mouth. So I haven't felt the need to, but I still want to, because there are still some clients and like facets that I'd like to shoot. But yeah, I had short story long. No.
So what are some projects or clients that you would like to reach out to when you do set that time aside and kind of do something?
Definitely probably some more food clients.
Okay.
Because those are more big ticket items, and then it doesn't involve, I can do it during the day. I don't have to like necessarily go, out, like 4 or 5 nights a week shooting like clubs and stuff. More food clients, and more sports would be cool. I always wanted to, like, in my head, like years ago, I was always like, oh, I want to shoot for the UFC,
Oh, nice.
It was always one of my goals. But yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, and then there's maybe shoot for a team, like be a team photographer, for a
In-house?
sports team. That would be cool. I met a guy, his name's Chris. He shoots for the Aces. So
really?
he's super cool. Yeah. He does like their social media photo and video. So something like that would be cool in the future, maybe. But yeah, that maybe just reaching out to people in that sense. Just get to know them.
Yeah, I've seen a few
And stuff.
photographers that shoot for like I think it was like the Panthers or a few like
Yeah,
that.
dude, the Panthers photographer I follow.
Yeah, and you're able to do some
Damn.
cool shit. And then
So good.
Brandon, I think it's Brandon Magnus.
I follow him.
He used to
Yeah.
actually shoot for UFC. He used to be the lead photographer for UFC.
Okay.
Then he went to San Jose Sharks, and then now he's with the Atlanta
okay.
Falcons. But yeah, that's
It's also very good. They're so creative.
what I'm saying. It's cool when they can blend like the creative part of the art, and then also like with the giant client that is, like I said, your NFL team, where you could kind of get creative and get out of like the old, very safe and like stagnant photos that.
Well, and I think that's something that I've dealt with, like shooting a lot of the same stuff for a long period of time. I start to get stagnant. So it's cool to see those types of guys maybe do that out of necessity because they don't want to just keep putting out the same stuff.
Yeah.
Like how are you going to like shoot a team's practice all the time and then shoot games and then make it look different every time, and also keep yourself entertained and keep yourself engaged.
Yeah.
So like hats off to them, man, because it's always different stuff and it's always so sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would always be cool. Have you been reaching out to any clients?
I have not. I myself have been too busy to do that. They're more so like my mental space has been trying to possibly put more time to like YouTube and podcasting, some YouTube kind of things like that, like more so my own revenue. Yeah, diversify my own revenue.
Yeah.
Versus necessarily shooting more, if that makes sense. But again, it's all time, and then filming yourself and all those things. It's like, where do you have the time? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, so for instance, this podcast, I'm hoping. I mean, I'm not hoping. Okay, there's pros and cons. Like, obviously, this winter, if it slows down, it'll be nice because it'll give us some more time to really focus on this and focus on our personal projects.
Yeah.
But also, too, it's also cool if the winter stays busy because it's good financially.
Bittersweet.
But I'm also looking forward to having a little bit more free time to spend, more time and more energy putting into like the podcast and this and like, getting better at shooting time lapses and video and animation and all that shit,
Yeah.
Do you have any? Do you have like a slow season at all? Because I know you do. I mean, you shoot like a lot of events like I do in sports, but then a main bulk of your stuff is the elopements and weddings. Is there a slow season for that type of thing?
I thought it would have been for. Well, it's hard. I thought it would have been for like June, July, and August because it's summer, and I thought that people would do their research.
1,000 degrees outside.
Not. Yeah.
Yeah.
But June was slammed. I was gone for July, so I don't know. Okay. And then August is slow in that, but then September, October, and November are picking back up, which I didn't initially think that August and September would be. I know like October and November probably would have been busy.
Okay.
So
maybe it's residual from COVID.
Yeah.
Maybe residual business from the lull that we had because of COVID.
A lot of those clients are telling me that they're doing the little quick Vegas thing, but they're still doing the like the real wedding back home or wherever they're from. So they're like almost getting two out of it. So yeah.
We took a brief pause. There was Sean was getting his yard done, so took a little potty break, but we are back. So going back to you switching over to Canon, I just updated my firmware on my Canon cameras. Did you happen to do that as well?
Yeah, I just updated, and it's awesome because of like how easy it is. You know what I mean?
Actually updating it. You're talking about?
Yeah, like actually updating it because the D50 didn't.
You couldn't update the firmware on it?
Oh, I mean, I never did.
Oh, okay.
Like the only updating I did was with the Sigma lenses about that little Sigma dock.
The dock, yeah.
And then did all that. But yeah, the camera itself, no. I just love how far technology's come where you can literally just upgrade things on the camera. You don't have to like buy a whole new camera.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like our iPhones where they just auto update. You don't have to like buy the new phone or whatever.
Yeah, and you know what? You could also just plug your camera in instead of doing the memory card thing. I think you can plug it in and then do it through the Canon utility.
The Canon app,
yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Which is dope as well. I was listening to another photography podcast, Jared Poland's one, Frono's Photo.
Frono's Photos.com.
Dude, I've been watching him for 13 years. The entire time I've been shooting. I learned how to shoot manual because of him.
Yeah, he shoots raw.
Yeah. But he was talking about how somebody hit him up to ask him for his contacts for a band that he was shooting.
Oh, like his contact list?
Yeah,
or
like, hey, can I like have your contacts who you have at this place?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I've had it happen a couple of times, but have you experienced that at all?
I'm trying to think. I'm sure it has. Somebody asking, who did you talk to over there, or could I have, so-and-so's email over there, or I'm trying to reach out and they're trying to can you confirm that it's, Jessica, whatever, and you're like, no. Don't do that.
Yeah, like, see, now if it's like, because he made a good point on his podcast. He's saying, well, yeah, if it's a friend and I want to like connect the dots for them.
Yeah, well, it's a one-way street.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Like, it only works if, hey, I'm unavailable, or hey, I moved out of the state, but let me put you in touch with Mike, and he should be able to take care of you if he's available.
Yeah.
That way works. But asking somebody for their thing, I don't think anyone's gonna be like, yeah, here.
For sure. Like, that's the stuff you gotta be in the I was trying to think of like a metaphor, but you gotta like be in the ditches. You gotta like be out there and like work for that type of thing.
Yeah,
and like build the clientele list, and
Yeah, if it comes your way, that's another thing. But you can't ask for it. Like we've shared plenty of gigs, and I recommend people all the time. If I was out of town, same thing. I recommended quite a few things for different people, and it goes one way. Like, hey, I'm not available, or so and so, let me put you in touch. And then if you get that gig moving forward, then that's on you. Like,
yeah, and that's another good point too. Yeah, like say you have a friend that you recommend, and then they cover for you, and then now that client starts using them instead of you.
Yeah,
that I've had, happen. I think that happens like naturally here and there.
Right.
But like, if it's something big, or I maybe try to preface it in a certain way, like, oh yeah, I'm just helping out, buddies. Especially if it's a close friend, like you. If they hit me up like, yo, try Sean, but. Yeah, I've had it happen, and it's super awkward, dude. It's just like, no, man.
Yeah, because what do you like?
Yeah, and I don't want to be like confrontational or like rude or anything like that.
You don't want to be rude, but it's kind of like the nerve of you asking me. Like Ivana used to go through it a ton when she was doing more of the influencing. People would ask all the time, "Oh, who's your contact at this brand or this and that?" And it's like,
oh wow,
fuck off nicely, because it's why would I?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? If they want to work with you, they would find you in that case. You know what I mean? They would reach out to you.
If you wanted to work with them, you would hit them up directly.
You would find a way. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting too, because not in a direct sense, but recently somebody had asked, I was shooting Omnia, and somebody had messaged me, and they were like, oh, how are you shooting these gigs, or how do you get these gigs? And it's like, I'm not going to like give away, not a secret, but I'm not going to tell you how. It's not like.
Well, yeah. I think because I get that quite a bit, and it's just more like, hey, I just kind of, worked hard and just kind of knew the right people. And, I just give them like a very like generic answer.
Yeah, and it's tough because those things happen. Like, here we are. We do have this podcast. We do have, I don't want to say platform, but we do have a platform where, we're trying to give back and help. But there is a certain extent where like, I'm not going to give you a contact or how I got something necessarily.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You got to like work. You got to, you got to, grind and figure it out on your own. Yeah. I always said it's learning on the job. You know, you just got to go out there and do it and figure it out as you go.
I even get asked that all the time shooting events from a normal person. You know, like, oh, how'd you get to shoot this? It's like, I don't even know a short version to tell you, to be honest. Like, I don't even know how
Well, I got a camera 13 years ago, and
yeah, I don't even know how
the
to
rest is
explain
history.
how I got here.
That actually is another good point too, because I'll get hit up pretty frequently to people like, hey, can I tag along with you? Could I do that and this and that? And it's so hard because it's like I can't really, like, I'm not really in a position to like bring anybody with me ever, you know.
Yeah, I've got asked that a few times too. Like, yeah, shooting specifically the nightclubs. Oh, I'd love to go, and you don't have to pay me and this, not. I'm like, yeah, I'm not really in that position to. I can't bring somebody because I'm hired out, and then B, like, yeah, I just can't.
Yeah, it's just like it's hard, and then it's so crazy too. Like when I've been brought out by other people, like it makes me feel extra grateful, you know. But yeah, it's just hard, like. Especially if you're getting hired to do a job, like, I can't really bring somebody.
Yeah.
And then like I remember somebody asked me like, oh, does like your girlfriend go to like all these events with you? I'm like, no,
she does not.
She does not.
She stays home.
Try to keep it keep it super professional.
Yeah,
it's just like I'm there to do a job.
Because I'm here at my job.
Hired.
You wouldn't bring her to PetSmart if you worked at PetSmart.
No.
Even.
I would ask her to bring me lunch, but
even if you really, like PetSmart.
But you go say.
I love dogs though.
Yeah. What else we got going on? Yeah, then another thing too, this has been like this has been as long as a tale as long as time.
I was just gonna say a tale, yeah.
Not giving photo credit to photographers. You know, I feel there's two I feel very neutral about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it always, you know, it's always been a thing ever since I started shooting and ever since, you know, social media probably became as big as it is now. How do you feel about any sort of accreditation or photo credit?
I used to, it used to really, really get under my skin. It still does in certain situations. Like, for example, certain situations I know I'm not going to get credited. Like, again, if you're shooting for a nightclub or if I'm shooting a convention and it was like through somebody and you don't have that direct relationship, then I know that photo is just going to be out there.
And let me preface this. I'm talking about strictly on social media.
Right. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So like certain things I know I'm not going to get credited because they just don't care. You know what I mean? Like, so it used to really bother me. Like, I need credit every single time. And, you know, like even shooting some of the like fighters in the gym that I know that if I shot for one fighter and somebody else is in the photo that they're training with, I know that secondary person is going to get the photos, right, from fighter A, and I know that they're not going to credit. And that used to really drive me bananas because most of the time I was shooting, I was doing it for that fighter. And a lot of times it was free. So it's like, dude, like now it went to the secondary person. You don't even have the decency to credit me. It's like, dude, I don't even have to let you have that. I could technically be an asshole and be like, take that photo down. I didn't give you permission. Yeah.
I mean, I think if you're doing something for free, you know, I think it's definitely like, it'd be nice if they give you credit, especially if you're doing it for free, but also that needs to be prefaced to them before.
Yeah. Well, that's why I started to be like, look, like if you use these photos or if I send you these photos, credit me. That's all I ask. Like in a story, in a post, like just acknowledge that I took these for you. Like, and then even when it wasn't happening, I'd have to like remind them like, dude, are you serious? Like I even told you beforehand. Yeah. I'll send you the photos.
See, and that's you prefacing it and then also then reiterating it after the fact. But then also too, if you do something for somebody and then they don't credit you, but then you don't say anything, you also don't tell them. Like, it's like,
no, I learned that the hard way because at first I didn't say anything assuming it's going to happen. And then after the few times where it doesn't, you're like, oh, I got to nip this in the butt and go, no.
Well, yeah. And then to give the client or the person benefit of the doubt, maybe they don't even realize it. Maybe their brain doesn't think that, especially if you're an athlete or something. You're not thinking about, artist credit.
Or certain, like most times, most of these people aren't even doing their own social media. So it's like,
for sure,
I'm just posting. I'm their manager or whatever it is. So sorry.
Yeah. Maybe they just get a photo and say, hey, post this today. And they do that. They don't even,
But to answer your question, it drives me nuts. It does because it's like, dude, for two reasons. One, for the obvious reasons of crediting somebody who did a service for you on the internet that maybe somebody will see that work and go, I like that. I want to hire that person, or I want to find that person. Or maybe you just want to look at their stuff and go, sucks, I could do better. But at least for me, it comes down to respect of like that person who posted the photo in whatever shape or form had enough respect to be like, well, hold on, who took this? Okay, let me acknowledge that person.
Yeah, see, I agree with that. But then also I agree with, if you're paying me a good amount of money, then you know what? Like I said, it would be a bonus for you to post it. But also too, it's like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. Like I got what I asked for.
Yeah.
You wanted a service. I told you price, and then now we're here, So, but also too, I agree with what you're saying. But then also too, it's like if I'm getting paid, it's like,
yeah, if you're getting paid, it's like I said, certain situations I already know most likely not going to get credit. Like the other day I shot for a DJ and I shot for them directly. So there were so many people involved in me getting that gig of like tour managers and agents. And it's like this and that. It's like by the time DJs themselves get the photos or it gets posted, there's a good chance I'm not going to get credited.
Yeah.
Am I going to cry over it? It'd be nice, but I got paid. Hopefully, more so what's important to me is if I can build a relationship with those people that hired me, and then I could actually build off that versus necessarily getting credit. You know what I mean? So it definitely depends situational what is more beneficial. Like certain things really don't care to get credit.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I'm so grateful that I can say this. I'm not really ever shooting for free really anymore. Fortunately, like during the pandemic I did to stay busy, but so now it's just kind of like I'm getting paid, but it doesn't really grind my gears like it used to,
Yeah.
But it's always a plus though, and I'm always grateful if somebody does.
Yeah. More so, it's like if you're shooting for something and then the person that paid you directly doesn't give credit, I don't care. But then if somebody else uses the photo,
I get what you're saying.
Like me and me, like if I shot a photo of Mike and he's with his buddy Jeff, right? And you paid me, cool. You don't need to credit me. But then Jeff's like, oh, I'm in this photo too. I'm going to use it. And then no credit me. That's where like the problem is like, dude, you didn't pay me and it wasn't even for you.
I get what you're saying. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where I'd be like, come on, bro. You could easily just put a little @ symbol and then my freaking name.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then why I said strictly social media is because anytime any of my photos have been like published through like PR, like all the PR people I've ever worked with are like so good and like so thorough about
because then you get
credit.
Illegal stuff and they don't want to go down that road.
Yeah. So I didn't even think about that. I'm more just thinking like, oh, they're great people and they just want to give us credit.
Oh, in my case, it's usually been like legal. They don't want to, be like, oh, I didn't sign off on this, or you didn't have those.
For sure.
You didn't have the rights.
Yeah. And then another thing too, I wanted to ask you about, I feel so self-conscious about, I love taking candids, like especially at events, like just nice candid with like a longer lens. So I kind of just like do my own thing, be it like a fly on the wall. But sometimes you need to like pop your flash in people's faces to get candids or, certain situations where you might need to do that without their acknowledgement that you're about to take a photo, and then the flash gives it away.
Right.
So how do you feel about that? Do you ever run in? Because I feel so insecure that I'm like, oh, fuck, they're gonna know. I'm like, I like pop it and I like scurry away.
Hide in the shadows.
Yeah.
I definitely go through the same things of like the insecurities, like shit. So to me it's a double-edged sword because on one hand I like I hate a step and repeat. Like I think it's so like cringy to be like pose for the photo each time. Like obviously there's certain ones where you're like, hey, this is somebody important, grab a photo of me and someone, so sure. But when it's like everything needs to look at the camera and like pose and smile, I hate it.
Yeah. So
the double-edged sword is shooting candids. A lot of times you have so much trash photos, you're like the side of their head, they're like taking a sip and you're like, God damn it, dude. Like be normal candid, but like don't look like stupid, or they're like talking or chewing, you're like, oh. Yeah. So that's, like I said, I love the candid, but then a lot of times like they're just throwaway photos. The other part, again, it's all about photography is about energy. So if I'm shooting an event or candids of people and no one has gave them a precursor that I'm there, then it's definitely like, shit, it's flashing and bugging because then they're looking like, what is this guy? But if somebody who usually I got hired through introduces, or it's like, hey, this is our photographer. He's gonna be shooting photos,
Yeah.
and then everyone's kind of like,
They prefaced it.
I got you. It's a little bit more at ease, but
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I get in my head too of like, man, I'm bugging. Or now they notice and they look and they start acting different.
Yeah, I feel like too, touching on that, I feel, like I definitely have my insecurities with my work. I feel like because my work is obviously like me, like how I get money. Do you ever run into insecurities? Like I feel like I judge myself so hard, and then I compare myself to others, and then just like that, like mental artist struggle.
Mm-hmm. Like it's not healthy, but it's me being honest. Like I go through that every single shoot.
Yeah.
I'll go through a moment, or I'll look at photos, or have a feeling when I'm in the shoot, and I'll be like, "Oh, these are good. I'm good. These are great."
Mm-hmm.
And then in the same exact thought or feeling, I'll be like, "Fucking suck. What am I doing here?"
Start pulling your eyebrows a little bit.
Yeah, like what am I doing? These are trash. Oh my god, they paid me for this.
Yeah.
Like, oh god, they're gonna look at these and be like, what is this? So yeah, I go through both, and then sometimes I'll go through it and it's back, and I'm like, good, these are great. No, I'm meant to be here. I've worked hard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the laying in bed trying to go to sleep.
We're our own worst critics, because then there'll be times where like I'll deliver photos and I'm like, they're gonna hate them. They're never gonna hire me again. These are absolutely trash. They paid for these.
That's when you get the best.
And then they go, we love them, and I always want to be like, where's the but?
Yeah.
Where's the we love them, but what about? So yeah, I go through this same. I think we all do, because again, we're our own worst critics, and then we also look at other people and then go, fuck, that person set the bar high. I need to match that, or it can be achieved. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I've been dealing with it for, as long as I've been shooting, and yeah, I mean, probably even, some of my own insecurities as a kid, I think followed me into this, like to where I could have shaken it off, but then now I'm always being judged. So it just like reappeared.
Yeah. I mean, I try not to do the comparison game in like a negative way, because for a while there it was.
Yeah, I think we talked about this on an earlier podcast, but
it definitely was more like in a negative sense, where it like really would affect me of like, I'm not good enough. Now I look at things, and I look at things as I try to look at it as inspiration to uplift me. You know what I mean? Like if I
put a positive spin on it.
Yeah, like if I'm shooting the nightclub, like the other night I shot the nightclub, and I went through and I looked at your work, I looked at Sammy's work, and I was like, all right, like you can get really, really good stuff. Obviously, don't look at this if like these guys are like better than you. Look at it as like, okay, this is what they're doing. Like you can like match that in a sense. Like don't let it bring you down. Look at it to uplift you. Like you can get good stuff too. Like go try to get.
That's a good way.
Yeah,
that's a really good way to look at it. Because normally I just look at stuff and I'm like, oh, I'm a piece of shit.
No, no, like that's not a good like.
Oh yeah, it's not healthy at all.
No, but it was funny because speaking of like mindset, so yesterday when I was shooting Dominic, there was a kid in the gym and he was talking and he was like, "Oh, my wrestling's not that bad," and Dominic was like, "Don't say that." He's like, "Say you're pretty good."
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Well, no, I'm not saying that. You just say I'm not that bad." He's like, "Yeah, but
you speak it into existence."
Well, instead of saying you're not that bad, just say you're pretty good. And I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of like a double negative, right? Like I'm not that bad."
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're still thinking that.
Somebody
is saying you are bad. You're just not that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, but then also too, it's like the humble thing, and it could go both ways. But it's cool that like somebody with that high of a degree of mixed martial arts, like it's like talking to a kid like that and saying like, no, you like talk like yourself positively and talk yourself up. It's cool.
Yeah, that's what he was telling me. He's like, I see a lot of myself in that kid because I go through the same things, but you got to get yourself out of that mindset. Like, don't think those thoughts. Like,
yeah, because then I always when I say like because I don't think I ever refer to myself in any sort of like, I always just try like any sort of like positive, like I refer to myself in a positive way, but like my work, I never be like, oh yeah, my work's the shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always just like, oh yeah, like I can do this and that, and I try to like let it speak for itself because I'm insecure about saying that my work's good, because then I would feel bad if it wasn't good and somebody thought it wasn't good, or mostly it's like, oh yeah, my work's good. And if I say that and someone's like, oh, you're a douchebag for saying like, I don't know.
It
Does that make
well,
sense? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes both ways, right? Because if you can say,
Because I don't want to come off cocky.
you don't want to come off cocky,
Yeah.
but you can say if you're like proud of something or you like something, like, oh, I'm a pretty good photographer or videographer.
Yeah.
You almost leave room for somebody to then judge you and go, well, I don't agree. I think your stuff sucks.
I think I don't vocalize it out loud.
Yeah.
Mentally, you know, I'll be like, oh yeah, you got this, or you've done this before, like that type of thing. But I don't ever vocalize it out loud, I think
it's just part of like our human nature, because you're creating something or you're documenting something and you're putting it out into the world for other people to see. And again, it's open to interpretation. Like 100 people can sit there and say they like something. 2 people can sit there and say they don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's just you're putting something out there.
Yeah, weird stuff with photography.
Yep.
I'm sure
it's just any art, really. You know what I mean?
Because
Because I could put out a painting and say I really like this. This is a good painting, and then somebody else could look at it and go, I think that painting sucks.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking of more of like well, like photographers, for instance, like we're getting hired for a gig, but then they could have hired somebody else in our like network, you know, of people. Painting is more subjective unless you're getting like hired to do. Yeah, I don't know. Well, no, because like we're providing a service, and they could have hired somebody else to provide a service that's in our network, and they've hired them instead of us.
Right.
So then you're always like, oh, because then you're literally comparing yourself to a direct competitor. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
If I hire you to do my electrical work in my house, I also could have hired Joe down the street.
Right.
You know, so then it's like, and then if Joe does get hired down the street, it's like, oh, why did Joe get hired and why didn't Sean get hired?
Right.
You know, those, yeah. It's like the ones and zeros of it, you know?
Yeah.
But
speaking of gear, you had mentioned that you had gotten a new RAID storage system.
Oh yeah, I finally became an adult, like not an adult, but finally became a big boy.
What's the RAID system?
It's just like a 4-bay system with what did I get? With 12 terabytes.
412s.
Yeah, then I set it up as a RAID 5. So you get the storage of 3 hard drives.
Okay.
And then if one fails, they all auto-populate the one that failed. Yeah, I'm sure people are screaming because I'm not explaining this very well.
Yeah, the tech nerds out there.
Yeah, but it's been a helpful setup because I have a desk full of I have a drawer full of hard drives.
Yeah,
I'm sure you do too. Yeah. So, I just did that, and that was like a fun little project. And backing everything up, so I'd highly recommend it if you haven't done that yet.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I got a new slider for time lapses.
You mentioned that.
Yeah. Did I mention that? Yeah.
I'm gonna go try that out.
I know. Yeah. Got the Edelchrome slider 1 plus or something like that. Yeah. It's been raining over here. We're just getting new gear, man.
Yeah.
All of us.
Spending all of our money.
I'd rather buy stuff for ourselves and our business than pay Uncle Sam.
Unless Uncle Sam's listening, then you'll get your money.
Well, yeah, you'll get your money, just a little less because I'm putting it back into my business.
I gotta spend.
I put it back into my business. Have you started an LLC yet?
No.
It's on your to-do list still?
Yeah. As well as the million other things on my to-do list. But we did start Pilates, if that makes you... Well, we haven't started yet. We have a session Thursday. So
if that makes me what?
No, but to-do list.
Oh, okay.
Checking them off slowly but surely.
Yeah.
So we have our first session on Thursday at Core, which will be cool because, as I think on every episode I've mentioned, doing something outside of just work related, and I think just moving around, stretching, and working out is something I need.
Yeah. Do you work out regularly now?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Again, something I just got to set down.
Yeah.
But since being back from Europe, I've definitely slowed down a bit. I'm not as eager to edit things, and I'm not as eager to fill up every single day with something. I'm been really trying to
It's a nice reset.
Yeah, nice to just slow it down. Okay, you got an inquiry or you have somebody that hit you up for a gig and you're technically available time-wise, but do you need to take on every single thing?
Okay, here's a good question that I have for you. I'm sure you had to refer some potential clients out to some of your colleagues.
Yes.
Did you feel guilty about doing that because you're on vacation?
Guilty in what sense?
Like, oh shit, I'm gonna be on vacation. Even though I want to go on vacation and I paid for vacation, I feel guilty that I have to give up all this work that I'm missing because I'm gonna be on vacation.
The first like 1 or 2 did that come through. I was like, oh man, because like a few of them, were like really cool opportunities, and they were with like a new client, so to speak, that I haven't worked with. And I was like, man. So at first it was, but then after a while, I was like, dude, I'm gone for a whole freaking month. Like I'm gone for 3 weeks. So I considered it in my head a month. But after that, I was like, it is what it is. Like there will always be more work, hopefully. So I got over it. I was actually excited because like for me, if I could recommend you or a Chelsea or somebody else and they get work, that's to me just as good, because it's like that human nature, right? Like you want to give somebody a recommendation or you want to help somebody, and if they take it, it's like, oh, you feel satisfied even though I'm not doing it. Yeah, you're like, oh shit, like I like spoke for that person, and then you looked at their work and you're like, oh, they're good enough, I'm gonna hit them up, and you're like, hell yeah, like you got it.
That's a good point, because I have a small group of people that like I do that where like we'll just like not even second guess it, like, oh yeah, just hit that person up. Yeah, but as a whole though, I do like I have to say no to certain things. I'm like, fuck, even though I'm on vacation and I'm like, I need the vacation, booked,
right? You're like, if only I could clone myself.
Yeah, the only book thing is it's like, if I could just make 3 of me.
Yeah, but no, I don't feel guilty, because like I said, it comes so far. It's come back like full circle, right? Like I recommended you to people, I've recommended Chelsea to people, things like that, and then in both instances, you guys have recommended me to people, and Chelsea's recommended me to people. So it definitely has been scratch your back, scratch mine thing
for sure.
So like I said, I missed this one. Holler at one of these people, and then same thing. So
yeah, for sure. I still feel a little guilty, but the closer to the vacation, it's feeling better. But yeah, I think it's just like I feel like a hoarder sometimes. I'm just like,
take it all.
Take it, like not even in a negative way, like, oh, I don't want them to get it, I want me to get it. I'm just like, oh, if someone's gonna ask me to do something, like, why should I ever say no? Yeah, you know. Yeah.
No, but I think that
it's like the feast or famine mindset.
Yeah, but I mean, so for example, there's a few emails I received in the last couple days, and I'm looking at my calendar and I'm like, okay, technically I'm available, but it's like I'm already pretty busy in that like cluster of time. Yeah. So it's like, do I want to take on work just because I physically can, or do I want to like save myself mentally and physically long term? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that actually happened over the weekend. I got hit up to shoot. I had 2 gigs on Saturday. I had 2 gigs on Friday, 2 gigs on Saturday, 2 gigs on Sunday. And I got hit up to do something in between the 2 on Saturday. And I was already kind of feeling like pretty run down. Yeah. I was like, fuck, dude, am I getting sick? Am I just mentally tired, physically tired? And that's when I referred you and Sam. And then I remember that night when I was like in between gigs, and I was like,
thank God.
It's like, dude, thank God I did not take that gig. I was like, I'm so tired and just burned out right now.
I wanted to do that one, but
I'm sorry to cut you off. But also, if it's a really cool gig, I'm gonna say yes like 10 out of 10 times. Like burn myself out.
Well, for that one, I was gonna take, because it was Hoobastank.
Yeah.
So I was like, it could be kind of cool, like kind of cheeky, like cool opportunity for just for the sake of it. But Ivana had movie plans at like 8 p.m. and so I wouldn't have made that gig anyway. But I definitely had the internet of like, do I flick on the wife to go shoot this thing? Or do I just, be like, no, because I had already had 1 gig before that, and then I was shooting the nightclub. So I'm like, again, I don't need to spread myself that thin. Yeah. So we went to the movies. We saw the movie Nope.
Yeah, how was that?
Stupid.
Really?
Yeah, it was stupid. It's like two
and change
hours and like 15 minutes, and the first like half it was good, like story building, character building, kind of like backstory, right? Like getting into it, and then it just got super fucking slow. The second half was so I literally passed out. I woke up and I was like, oh shit, it's over.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Damn, I was
So-
kind of excited to go see that, but
Well, yeah, because everyone said the same thing. I saw
Yeah.
a few people that were like, "Oh, I just saw the movie. No, what are your thoughts?"
well, I heard it was like the most amazing alien movie ever. See?
Don't know what to tell you.
Okay, well, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, check it out. Maybe you'll love it, and then we just difference of opinions. But I saw it with Ivana and
Yeah.
our friend Liz. So us three opinions. We're like, could have done without it. First half was good. To me, it felt like it was two different like directors.
okay.
Because like the first half was like one thing, and it was like little nuggets. I'm not gonna give it away, but like the first half was like nuggets of things, and
Yeah.
it was like it had you invested. To me, the second half was just like it didn't need to be that long. It's
Nice.
very slow, and then the end, it's like
All right. Well, maybe I'll wait until it comes out on DVD.
But Ivana just went to the movies yesterday, and
Uh-huh.
she saw, I believe it's called Vengeance. With it's directed by BJ Novak, who was in The Office.
I was like, who's BJ? I was like, I know that
he
name.
was the temp in Office.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan.
But yeah, she said that movie was really good.
Okay.
So I
cool.
want to go watch it now myself.
If you want to go, let me know, dog.
Yeah, let's
you got
do
my
it.
number.
A little bro date.
I rewatched Interstellar 2 days ago.
Oh, how was it?
Dude,
I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it since
Is that
it
the
came
one with
out.
Matt Damon?
It's Matthew McConaughey and Matt Damon. Matt Damon.
Matt-
Yeah. No, but it's Matthew McConaughey. Matt Damon's in it. Anne Hathaway. Dude, watch it.
Good.
Because
Yeah.
I watched it. It came out in 2014. I was like maybe like 18, like 19, 20. So I watched it and then I kind of forgot it. And then I rewatched it again, like as a little bit more of an adult. And I was like, oh my God, I forgot how amazing this movie is. Yeah. Because it's Christopher Nolan and, yeah, highly recommend that. You and Ivana, you got a night off,
Yeah.
you get a little inebriated and watch it. It's a good time.
I'll check it out. I don't think she's seen it. She never brought it up, so I don't think she has.
Yeah. Has she, is your wife someone who you're like, hey, have you seen this movie? And she, like 9 out of 10 times she says no. Because that's how Crystal is.
She is, if it's so she grew up, she's Lebanese, so her parents are Middle Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't grow up with like American cult classics like I did. So like Dumb and Dumbers and things like that. She's like, I don't know what those are. So those types of things, yeah, she'd be like, I've never seen that. But like a newer one, she'll beat me to it. She'll be like, oh, I've seen this.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? It's kind of the same thing with Crystal.
Yeah.
Because like I'll be working and she's like, oh yeah, I watched that on Netflix already. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like I
wanna-
said, yesterday I was out in San Diego. She's like, I'm gonna go to the movies. It's better than sitting at home. And so she saw that Vengeance movie.
Nice. Very good. What else did I have to ask you? Oh, what do you got going on for the next couple weeks? Oh, and then yeah, we'll get to that later. What do you got going on the next couple weeks?
Fun upcoming projects other than some elopements and some event work. I'm supposed to be in Utah for a couple days to photograph Leon Edwards, who is fighting tomorrow Usman for the UFC welterweight title.
Yeah.
So that should be fun. I'm really digging traveling for photo work. It's exciting for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like. Hopefully that's supposed to be confirmed because it's supposed to be like next week. So hopefully we lock that in with the powers that be.
Yeah.
Other than that, no, it should be
Nothing?
it on the horizon as far as like a fun.
Out of the norm
Yeah.
type
But
of
yeah,
thing.
what do you got outside of your wedding in Tahoe?
Let's see here. I always when I get put on the spot. Oh, I have a clothing photo shoot next week, which should be pretty fun with Ignite. Dan Bilzerian.
Oh, that's still a thing. He still has that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Nice.
I get to work with my buddy Dalton next week, which is gonna be a good time.
Nice.
Mr.
Your
Dalton
buddy
Campbell.
I was gonna say your buddy Dalton you mentioned, right? Nice.
Yeah, I got another food shoot next week. Oh, I got Tough Enough on the 12th, so that'll be fun.
Nice.
Yeah, then I'll be in Tahoe, shooting a wedding and relaxing with my girlfriend.
Yeah, you need that little downtime.
Yeah, and then I just got booked for a conference in Orlando in October, which should be cool. I haven't been to Orlando since I was a kid, so.
Oh, I got hit up to shoot Life is Beautiful, so we'll see if
Oh,
that,
sick, dude.
if that falls through, that'll be kind of
Nice.
cool.
Fuck yeah. Oh, I'm shooting Life is Beautiful on Sunday.
The Sunday portion.
Yeah, for Headliner Music Club.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than the little Utah thing, and Life is Beautiful, the normal elopements.
You gonna
events.
shoot Day in Vegas this year again?
They canceled it.
Yeah, no, I was just
Oh.
yeah.
Funny thing about
Making
that
a
is
dig
I
at
was
them.
I was supposed to, and they they kabooshed it.
What a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that is about it. I think.
Yeah. Thanks for hearing us ramble on our.
I did want to talk about. So everybody that is listening, we are going to be moving to weekly uploads starting August 12th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this episode will be out on the 19th. So you would have already found out.
Because you'd be listening to it right now.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
moving forward, yeah.
We're gonna move to weekly drops, weekly episodes. So yeah, that'll be exciting for hopefully you guys, as it's exciting for us.
Yeah, we want to
push it more.
exactly. We want to hit it pretty hard, and I think weekly uploads is the way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, we should have some exciting guests on, both photo related and also non-photo related. As of course, we're trying to be a more creative podcast, and it's not just limited to what we do. We want to talk to other people in other mediums. So yeah, that'll be fun to see who we have on. And thanks for listening to us ramble. And
Yeah, and actually, if you're watching the YouTube version, there's going to be a What's in Our Bag video.
there's gonna be a What's in Our Bag. So check that out. Stick around for that if you feel so obliged.
And thank you.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Toodaloo.